Hi everyone. So I just want to do a quick video before I go to bed because I just finished watching an episode of Criminal Minds. Sometimes I watch things and it'll light bulbs because it'll remind me of certain things that I've gotten on cases. And a little light bulb went off regarding the Malaysia flight. Now I have done a reading on that. We did do it on it was impromptu. It was done on New Year's of last year, so it is a little wild. It was done during a party and it wasn't planned. We did cut it, we did post it. So there was things in that reading. And first of all, I want to say that this is my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is in no way factual information. These are just my opinions and what I take or understand from the reading and putting together what I just saw, because I am not in by any means um any kind of person that knows anything about airplanes. I mean, I didn't know anything about the sub either, but the way that Spirit describes things, I can kind of put things together. So it's kind of the same thing with this. They put me on the plane and made me experience things. And what I experienced, I just watched the show, Criminal Minds. It's actually season 10, episode 3. So it's about a plane crash. And there's things explained in there to me that made a light bulb go off. Um, Basically, it was the same stuff that I experienced when they put me on the plane for the Malaysia, and the things that I experienced about how I thought it was a mechanical error because of certain things that had happened in the cockpit that I had seen, how he grabbed the yoke, things that were going on, the beeping noise. And everybody said, they think that he unalived himself, he took the plane down, whatever. On this show, they did the exact same thing, or the exact same thing happened in my vision that happened on the show. And for those of you that watch, Reed explained how when a plane, the way that it breaks apart, it means that there's negative G's, which normally doesn't happen. So that would mean that it was something internal. So pilot error, or somebody took the plane down that was on the inside. However, it can also be explained by someone hacking the plane. I never thought of that before because I wasn't really shown um, a guy behind a computer hacking the plane. I was just made to feel what it felt like to be on the plane. I did not feel that the pilot or the co-pilot or anybody like that actually took the plane down on purpose. Now, someone hacking the plane would make sense to me as a light bulb went off, because of the 5 scientists that were on board. So we know that technology, a lot of different places have them, meaning that a lot of different countries have them, and we don't know exactly what they have. With the way that technology is and things that people can hack, even back then, sometimes things are way beyond what we know, right? Like, technology has been light years before we even probably know it is at that point. It just kind of let off a light bulb, because here they are talking about this on the show, and it's everything I experienced in my visions. And I think the reason why they thought maybe it was unaliving, he did it on purpose, was because of the way the plane broke apart and the physics and the negative G's. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know from watching the show that it sort of kind of hit a light bulb off in my head. And I know that a lot of people had said, well, what about the 5 scientists on board? A lot of people think it was directed at that. Now, it would have come up as a mechanical error in my visions. That makes sense now because it actually came up as a mechanical error on the show, but it wasn't. What they did is they actually shut off everything and tried to restart it at some point. But everything was going crazy. So in a vision, you have to kind of take things and put them together. You have to take the puzzle pieces and put them together. You kind of have to understand what's being shown to you without ever experiencing it. It's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes it takes something like this to come across my path to kind of spark it in me, and maybe understand why I felt what I felt more, maybe understand how things make more sense. This would be why they were thinking that it was a pilot error, or that he did it to himself, as if somebody made it look like that. If somebody hacked it and made it look like that. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying for factual information that that's what happened, but the fact that there was 5 very important people on board kind of makes me sway that way a little bit, where I'm not a conspiracy gut buff. I don't believe in a lot of conspiracies. Spirit didn't really show me that. They just made me feel it. And they always know more than I do. So they knew that I would come across this eventually. I've watched Criminal Minds through different platforms, and I've never seen this episode before. So the timing is everything. All right. So me seeing this episode tonight, I believe in synchronicities. You can't be connected to the universe and do what I do without believing in synchronicities. And Spirit loves to use, shows and things like that I've seen to try to relay things to me, make me understand them. Because again, I don't know anything about the mechanics of planes. All I know is what I felt when I was in the plane and how I could perceive it the best way that I could. And again, it came off as mechanical, but on the show, it came off as mechanical and it was actually being hacked. So I think it's very plausible that the same thing happened here and why they were lost of communications for a while. Because also in the show, they lost communications because someone was taking over. They were talking in the plane, but no one was hearing them because it was being stopped by the hacker. So I don't know exactly who would have done something like this, and Spirit would more than likely protect me from being able to give that information because they don't want me knowing things I'm not supposed to know. So keep that in mind. All right. But it would be whoever didn't want these scientists to get out whatever they were working on. I've heard it was something important. So whether that be some kind of cure for something, something very important, seem like they're very important people. And unfortunately, when you have terrorists and people that can hack things like this, they will take down an entire plane to get rid of certain people because they don't care. Again, this is all alleged, entertainment purposes only, and just my opinion. Just from experiencing what I experienced on the reading, seeing the show, it kind of all clicked together like puzzle pieces. Spirit just showed me puzzle pieces sliding together. Sometimes I need to see things to make sense of why I get what I get. So I I could not go to sleep without sharing it with you guys because I would have laid in bed and thought about it all night. As we know, my mind goes and goes and goes, and I can't shut it off unless I say things sometimes. So it's one of those things where I felt like I needed to let you guys know where my thoughts were running with this because it happened for a reason. That reading, that impromptu reading happened when it happened for a reason. I was not trying to have that reading, to do that reading. And again, if you watch it, please no negative comments. Okay, we were in the middle of partying. It was not planned. So the kids were up, things were going on. We did the best that we could, and I couldn't recreate it. All right. So you'll have to just understand that we did the best that we could as far as cutting it and releasing it. Because again, it was impromptu. It wasn't planned to do that. I've never worked on a plane reading before or anything like that. Like, and the plane and the sub were two of the first of that I've ever done. And I'm not I don't know anything about physics or anything like that. Like, I never went that far in school. My brain doesn't work that way. So this is the best way that Spirit can describe it to me. So literally watching that show just totally explained everything that I felt in my visions, everything that I experienced on the plane. Plus, why they thought it was internal was because of the way the plane broke apart and the negative G's. Only thing that would cause that is something internal now. They wanted to make it look like a pilot error. If they wanted to make it look like something it wasn't, to do what they needed to do with these 5 scientists, that's the way to do it. And again, we know these countries or people or whoever, there's a lot of technology out there. So again, I don't try to get into the conspiracies and stuff, but I do believe there is things like this that do happen. So whenever I get something like that, I have to say it. But I always give what I get, and I always just try to put the puzzle pieces together. So I wanted to share that with you tonight. That was my light bulb moment as far as the Malaysia flight's concerned, and understanding a little bit more of my reading and why I experienced what I experienced and why it seemed like a mechanical error. But everybody keeps telling me, no, that's not what happened. That can't be what happened. When you're in my visions and you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, and you're seeing what I'm seeing as far as everything going crazy on the board, on the electrical, I don't even know what it's called, front of the plane where all the gadgets and stuff are. Okay. I see all that going crazy, hearing it, hearing the beeping and everything and being part of that situation. You're going to think it's mechanical, but you don't know how things work. I can only give what I get until they do something like this to me where they make me see something that kind of makes more sense. that makes sense. Especially since I don't think the pilot had anything to do with it. I really don't. I don't think this was something that he took down the plane. I don't think it had anything to do with that. He may have been a good patsy, and that's why they made it look like the way that they made it look like. So, for one of the first times ever, I'm saying there's probably something more to this than meets the eye than what I originally thought, because of what I experienced. It seemed like mechanical error. But again, seemed like mechanical error on the show. That's what they made it look like. They even put it out to the news that that's what it was, to kind of get the guy to come up. So we may never know what really happened. All I can tell you is what spirit showed me, made me feel, and what has happened tonight to make the light bulb kind of go off in my head, which sometimes happens to me. I get those synchronicities or things that I'll see and it's be like, you know what? This kind of reminds me of what I got, and now it kind of makes more sense. So, but I don't know who you are, so don't come after me, please. I think that's it. I'm gonna get around and go to bed now. I'm overly exhausted. I actually was gonna do a live tonight, but I couldn't. I was too tired. Keep in mind that there's only a few more days to sign up for the spirit-led readings. There's less people, I believe, than last time. I haven't really been keeping track, but I haven't had as many as last time contact me. If you are looking to book a reading with me, everything is down below, and there's a link, and there is also available gift cards, which is great for this time of the year if you want something unique that will last forever and really make an impression with someone. That's if they're open-minded, of course. And if you feel like it's something that will help them and that they want. Well, hope to see you guys soon. I'm going to leave Matthew Perry up a little bit longer on members, because members are special. They pay. I don't do a lot for them, so I'm trying to do more to let you guys know that you're appreciated. So for members, it was on Patreon for a little bit. Matthew Perry is one I do want to get out, though, so I will put something else for Patreon up. But you guys get the first previews, but I want to get that out soon because the autopsy is going to be coming out, and I really think that what I got is accurate. I don't think there's anything weird. So anyways, I guess I just want to put this out there. So please don't come after me. I'll see you guys next time.